Hello students, welcome to the online session for the subject of industrial safety. We have already started this chapter, the syllabus. We have completed the module number 1, module number 2, module number 3. In last session, we have already started module number 4 and we have completed some topics from the module number 4. So in this session, we will be continuing with the next session of the subject of industrial safety. Next, so content that we are going to discuss in this session is sequence of the fault finding activities. Procedure to draw the diagram means the how in the diagram tree, that is we are going to draw where the faults and the reasons that are listed, means the sequence of the fault should, how the sequence of the listing of the fault should be done, that we are going to discuss. Then what is the procedure for the drawing set diagram will be also discussed. Then means we have already started at making the, means now by this we can get to know that how the decision tree is prepared. So we are going to make the decision tree for the lathe chuck stop revolving. Then for the we are making the decision tree for the pump that fails for to deliver the water, and decision tree for the lower compressor. Means this all the, means a decision tree diagram based on these three concepts will be going to be discussed in this session. So let's start. How the sequence is required to be made. We already start discussed that how the sequence should be made. Basically, it should represent all the activities. The activities should be listed in the proper sequence, and the sequence should be in such a way that by referring that diagram we can get to know the exact fall and the reason that can be found. And it should be in such a way that with one glimpse only we can get to know the fault and the reason, and that is all the objective of the diagram, so that we can find that we can trace the fault and we can find the reason that is causing the fault. By this, the least time by which we can find the solution will be made. So yes, this is how the things will be made. Next is it will help us to design the reason that will cause the fault, and at least two faulty reasons should we choose, so that we can get the exact solution. So this is, yes, the procedure to draw the diagram is in this. So this is how it is done. The first of all, means boxes should be made. So first box should be of the fault, means of what fault the reasons are required to be made. So first box will be of the fault. Next series of the box will be the reasons. All the reasons that are causing the fault should be listed. Here reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, reason 4 up to 5. All the reasons are being listed. Okay. So yes, faults and reasons are the foremost requirement of the diagram. Then next is the decision. After the fault has been found, the reason that is causing the fault is found. Then next thing that is required is to find the decision, whether it is faulty, means it is causing the fault, then, or not causing the fault. So this type of diagram should be made. So for the fault, the means we can say that if the reason 1 is faulty or not fault, that should also be known. Reason 2 is faulty or non faulty, that should also be known. Reason 3 is faulty or non faulty, that is also required to be known. And reason 4 is faulty or non faulty, that is also required to be known. So if the reason 1 is faulty and it is causing the problem, then remove that fault. And if it is not causing the problem, then go to the next. Next is reason 2, that is the If reason 2 is faulty, then go to the means faulty, yes, then remove that fault. Not faulty, then go to the next. Similarly, all the fault reasons should be checked for faulty and non-faulty. And where it is faulty, then we have to type, we have to write the go to the next. Means, sorry, whether it's faulty, then it is necessary to remove the faults. But if it is not faulty, then it should be written with such a way that remove the faults. Now, let's start with the first diagram, that is lathe chuck stop revolving diagram. So this is the fault. The fault will be the lathe chuck stop die revolving. So the reasons will be listed as shown in below. That first reason is check for the transmission belt should be done, and it should be checked for faulty or not faulty. And if it is faulty, then remove that fault. If it is not faulty, then go to the next reason. The next reason will be change the main switch fuse. So it should be checked for the faulty or non-faulty. If it is faulty, then remove that fault, and if it is not faulty, then go to the next. Next is the check for the power supply. So basically, we have to check for the power supply, and it should also be checked for the faulty and non-faulty. If it is faulty, then we have to go. We have to rectify it, remove that fault. Or if it is not faulty, we have to go to the next. We have to check for the electric wiring and switches. So it should be checked for the fault and non-faulty. If it is faulty, then it should be the action should be in such a way that go to the sorry, for faulty it is we have to say write that remove that fault. If it's not faulty, then we have to go to the next fault. Next is check for the pulley and the pulley joints. So that should also be checked for the faulty and non-faulty. Similarly, faulty, then remove that fault, and if it is not faulty, go to the next. Then we have to check for the spindle of the bearing. There, uh, both faulty and non-faulty checking should also be done. Will also be done. And if it is faulty, then go remove that fault. And if it is not faulty, then we have to go to the next. Next check for the spindle gearbox should also be done. And there, faulty and non-faulty checking should also be done. Faulty, then remove that fault, and if it is not faulty, then go to the next. Next is the decision tree for the pump that fails to deliver the water. So basically, the fault in the fault book, the title that is going to be written is the pump fails to deliver the water. Now, what will be the reason behind the pump that are failing to deliver the water? It will be priming required. If it is not getting the proper priming, then also the pump will fail to deliver the water. If the source in the source if there is no water, then also the pump will found difficulty in delivering the water. Then wrong direction of the rotation of the impeller, that also cause the problem, and it is also required to be rectified. The next is choked up suction line and footwall. If the suction line and the footwall are got choked, then obviously it will affect the delivery of the water. Suction of the delivery, suction delivery head are more. The suction delivery head are more, that also cause the risk. Damage or choked impeller is more, then it will be also causing the problem. So each and every reason should be checked for the fault and non-faulty. If it is found a fault means it is causing the fault, then action should be in such a way that we should write that remove that fault. But if this is the reason is not causing the fault, then the right action should be in such a way that we should write the go to the next fault. So this is how the diagram of the pump which fails to deliver the water will be written. Next is the decision tree for the low air compressor. So in case of the low air compressor, the uh, fault diagram there the low air pressure compressor should be written in the next series of the diagram where all reasons are being written should be listed. The reasons mainly includes the transmission belt are slipping, air leakage is there. If air leakage is there, then also the problem can occur. Next is electric motor speed is low, but even we can say that if the electric motor is running very slowly, that is also affected. Wrong adjustment of the pressure regulation valve. So if the adjustment isn't proper, then also the problem can be caused. Faulty pressure gauge. If the pressure gauge is showing the wrong result, then also the problem can occur. So the reason where it should be the decision should be made regarding the reasons, and that will be either faulty or non-faulty. In faulty, the action should be written in such a way that remove that fault. And if not faulty, then the action should be in such a way that it should be written that go to the next. So yes, we are in the online session for the subject. Oh yes, I want to say that this should be done for all the reasons. We have already discussed this. Action should be given to all the reasons. So yes, thank you for attending my session. This is an online session, and I am Akash R. Suthar. So thanks for attending my session. We are in the online session. We are about to complete module number 4 for the subject of industrial safety. So see you in my next session. If you have a question, you can ask me in my channel. So thank you for rating the session. Thank you.